us today for a ride on the 1914 steamship the Katahdin, as I get to steer the ship, the last surviving steamboat on Moosehead Lake, Maine. We start out in Greenville, Maine at the Moosehead Maritime Museum. There's lots of artifacts and interesting things here in the museum testifying to this beautiful ship that was built way back in 1914. There were other steamboats on Moosehead Lake back in the early to mid 1900s, but the Katahdin is the last one left. The other ones have been scuttled and can be seen down in the water at times when the water's clear. So the Katahdin is the last of a survivor of the last of an era built back in 1914. So she's over 110 years old. Here's the front of the ship at the top. And I suppose here is the captain's perch here. So here's the Captain Rocky Rockwell up in his perch. I think Rocky told us that he had been sailing and part of the ship, either employed or sailing the ship since at least since the 1960s and early 70s, so at least about 50 years he's been associated with the Katahdin.
Big game biologists, fisheries biologists, and our local game wardens all work out of that facility. You can see a bunch of little houses up there that all look the same. Those once went with a huge woodworking mill there. There was many things that started in the late 1800s, burned in the early 1900s. Off the port side right now, you can see a big tank sitting there in the water right beside that red channel buoy. That actually part of the boiler that came out of this boat in 1922. It was placed on a ledge there that was called Mile Ledge. Now it's called Mile Light. It actually was powered by the Atlas Plywood Mill for many, many years. And it was the first navigational aid on Moosehead. This Mile Ledge was a very imposing piece of ledge to hit with one of these steamboats, especially the wooden ones. The light on it now is powered by the Moosehead Yacht Club, solar-powered light. You can see the cable coming up over the side of it, where the power used to come to it when Atlas Plywood actually powered it.
So that is the original boiler from this very ship that we're sailing on now that was stuck in the sand to make sure that people didn't ground out on it.
Let's go point here off our port side. We'll be getting a look at the village condominiums in just a moment. Beautiful set of condos, many of them are actually for rent. Moosehead Lake, that in the late 1800s until the 1930s thrived here on Moosehead. Was as many as 20 steamboats working for them on the lake. The Katahdin had two steamboats just about our size, the Moosehead and the Twilight. We're going to give these folks a big... Oh, they're ringing the bell. All right, here we go. Here comes the whistle. She's loud. You know the routine. One time that was the northern terminus of the Vanguard and Aroostook Railroad. Back in the early 1900s, there had been as many as 5 or 6 trains a day coming in here, passenger trains and freight trains alike. The Katahdin, the Twilight. Folks have been out here fishing. This is a great spot to fish right here. We're at 130 feet of water here right now. It's great lake trout fishing right in this area. It gets soaking wet. Drawn in, got a big fire going. One of the jackets up around the fire. One of the gentleman's jacket actually caught fire. They started calling the campsite where you burned your jacket, or the burnt jacket campsite.
How about that?
Pretty quick to point, the mountain up behind and the ledges all were taking the name of Burnt Jacket. The Burnt Jacket Point, Burnt Jacket Ledges right off our starboard side right now.
Is this the right side?
Yeah, starboard, One of the best features of the Katahdin steamboat was that it had a kitchen aboard, and we were able to order some good food, which I'll show you here in a moment.
miles wide in one spot. 37 counties east of the United States contained within one state.
So this is the bow of the ship, or the front, on the lower deck. Looking right out, almost on the water level.
It's home to
Get a little water coming in here.
we have white trout, we have landlocked salmon, and we have eastern brook trout. And some good ones of each species are taken every year. It's the water is very cold.
And they have a little gift shop in here.
We also have.
I know, you've got to have some of this. I guess they didn't have a knife, did they? Yeah, they do. I'll go get one.
Lobster chowder on the Katahdin. Lobster.
Cheers!
500 and 5,000 cord of wood at a time. The cord of wood is actually 4 feet gold from the mountain, which the name of the stone is rhyolite, but also known as flint. It was as many as 10,000 years ago when the Native Americans are actually coming here to gather that. And flint from Kineo can be found as far away as the Ohio Valley, as the tribes used it to barter with. They used the flint for weapons and tools. Just a heads up, we're going to be going right into a strong wind here now for probably the next hour. So hang on to your hats if you're out on the decks. Just be careful. Sit right here while we're steaming along.
Rocky here was showing us the autopilot from 1914, where he would tie a rope from the ceiling around the handle of the ship's wheel
1914 autopilot.
and keep it straight.
That is great, isn't it?
The batteries never run out in them.
About that. That's right.
Oh yeah, you can feel, no, the bow's just like a sail. We'll feel the wind and we'll get it. Oh yeah. It's about 10 miles back, we'll go about 12 getting there, because we'll go all over the place going down with the wind pushing us here. There's really, from here down to that big point, burnt jacket we talked about coming up, there's really no place to hide from it. We'll just have to steam right through it.
So how long did, so you've been continuously aboard the Cape then?
I worked on it back in, I started in '67 when I got out of high school. I wasn't right, I didn't start actually on the boat until 1970. And then I worked until '76. And then I retired from a career in the forestry business in '16. And Liz, the lady in the galley, had stalked me. And as soon as I retired, she was the first phone call I got.
Really?
And I wanted to know if I'd come to work here.
Oh, that's great.
That's
So
good.
I came back and started as a deckhand, and I had some experience on the boat and knew how she handled. Because when we were towing wood, when this was towing wood for the paper mills across the lake, by the time the ice went out until the middle of July, the boat ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I was going to ask about, did the men just sleep? It must have looked like, did they have?
Yeah, we had a 1,000-foot tow line, and we had again we'd tow anywhere from 3,500.
Well, look who he let steer the ship next. He's a very brave man, and this thing is not easy to steer. Let me tell you, it was very hard.
That's good, right? Sometimes in a wind like this, you get it just right. Like, let's see where I would move the hand off. Okay, that is dead center on the rudder right there.
Okay.
So we're pulling over that way. You're turning into the wind, and the wind is pushing you this way, so we're actually tracking pretty good right now.
Okay.
And then you'll get just to a point, and then it will push us one way or the other.
It takes a
When
lot.
I'm up here alone, I'll sit on the stool and use my feet to steer.
Really?
It's cheap. And when we have people come up and steer, we'll have a lot of kids come. We use a stool for the kids to sit.
Oh, that's great.
And they're the running and jumping. Careful now, we're going to run into the arm.
Oh my.
Okay, put her back just a little bit. Well, you can feel that cable's, you're hooked right directly on, you're hanging on the rudder right now.
Yeah, wow.
That wheel is directly onto the rudder by a cable system. So bring her back that way a little bit more. A little bit more. Keep her coming. Keep her coming. Keep her coming. Keep her coming. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. She don't want to come out. Keep going. Yeah. Got any luck?
No, it was too windy and the little boat.
The wind went. I pulled it right into neutral.
Really? You just
So
have to
the wheel's turning a little bit, but she turns a lot quicker. Once you get the rudder where you want it, rope it, and put the power back on.
Wow, really?
And then she'll come around.
Man.
Oh, so you slowed down, turned the rudder, and then started
And
it
start it back up.
instead
Really?
of trying to turn it
Yeah.
in
Oh, turn
motion.
it with, because when you get a chance, you can feel that there's a vibration here from the water hitting the rudder. The rudder is 6 foot square. The wheel is 6 foot in diameter.
Pipes on either side of the door for.
Originally, when we were steam, those were talking tubes.
Oh,
They
really?
could whistle in noisy like a combustion engine.
Really?
They just huffed and
It's
puffed.
just the pressure. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
You can see, you walk up along by the fuel tanks, and then the generator room's right there. Right here, you can see the footings.
I don't know how to get to 180. Am I trying to get to 180?
Bring her back up.
Let.
Bring her back up.
There you
Keep
go.
going. Pull her out. There you go. Pull her over. She's not responding. And that's what we were saying when we were back there. that Once we get clear of Cape.
Now for another special treat, we get to go down into the engine room underneath on the bottom level of the ship. So you'll see all the neat things here in just a moment. Here is the diesel engine that they use now for the motor to propel the ship. And here is the drive shaft that comes out of the back of the engine that goes to propel the rudder all the way to the rear.
Now, originally, when the boat was built, these are foundations left. It was steam engine originally. And these are just some of the foundation tanks. And we carry about 4,400 gallons of fuel that we keep on the boat all the time. Now, that's not because we burn it, that's because we need the weight down here for ballast.
Oh, ballast, really?
It's about 16 tons of weight of fuel.
Wow.
We have 18 tons of concrete people on the top deck. You had to have ballast down here to be stable.
Wow.
That's the purpose we have.
So right here, he's letting us look out the porthole, which is about 1.5 feet off of the level of the water itself, which is really cool. And silly me, I hit the wrong button when I went to record it, so you can't see it, unfortunately.
Oh, it's incredible. That is so okay. So the cable goes around
The
here.
steering goes all the way back to the rudder.
Wow.
You can see the other side.
Cable running.
Right here is the other side of the steering. Right there.
Wow.
So we hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for going along with us on the ride on the Katahdin, the last steamboat afloat on Moosehead Lake, Maine. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.